Welcome to the Senior Rehab Podcast,
the podcast for rehab clinicians that want to better serve older adults.
And now, your host, Dustin Jones.
Short. Today's article is another one from Neil Maltby, titled Powerful Words. This was written on December 22nd, 2015. It felt like he came back to shake my hand 5 or 6 times. Big smile, effusive praise. He was clearly delighted. He was back on his bike, confident about his future, which was a big turnaround from 8 weeks earlier. A young man, mid-30s, I say young as same age bracket as me. He felt his life was over. He had been getting worse and worse. I always remember him by his thick Kiwi accent. The subjective had gone longer than expected. He had episodic low back pain for a long time. This episode after a long car journey, but it was taking less and less each time. He was now conscious of his back all the time, even when it wasn't hurting. This was interesting, I thought. Should we be conscious of a body part even when it's not hurting? I delved further to his history. Oh yeah, and he'd had a lumbar fusion. Thought you'd pop that one in there last minute, did you? Age 19, a rugby injury led to a spinal fracture. The surgeons decided to stabilize or fixate. This may have been the best treatment for him at that point. However, what came next was the key to his case. So what did the surgeon say after the operation? Well, he said I needed to be careful, take it steady, that it was pretty severe. In fact, he said if he'd known how severe it was, he would have used a stronger fixation device. He said, what? The physio then advised on lots of bracing techniques, log rolling in and out of bed, lots of core stability. But now every time I bend, it hurts. So you've basically avoided bending for a lot of years, and now when you have to, it hurts. Is that a surprise to you? If we're taking a history, we need the narrative. Otherwise, we are taking a questionnaire, skimming data from detail. One of the first stones to be turned is previous healthcare experience. Have they been referred by another practitioner? Have they consulted anyone else? Usually for me, it is a GP referral. So I asked them when they saw the GP, what did she say? Trying to get it in their words, rather than from the referral. Discrepancies are frequent. Sticks and stones may break bones, but words will never harm me. This is true. This is false. It is a polemic for dissociating with harmful words. Words cannot directly cause physical harm, but words are powerful. The context they operate in help to load or unload this power. Naked Physio blog illustrates this nicely. The surgeon's words here hang heavy, but heavy as they lay, equally they can powerfully free. If there's power in words, we need to know what they are, allowing people to use their own spontaneous language rather than words or numbers prepared by us. The poster below is an excellent example of qualitative research uncovering powerful words specific to people and cultures. People in pain often face an existential crisis. Their existence becomes afflicted, usurped, consumed. Their world is hijacked. Their words incite into their turmoil. Words spoken require understanding. Words heard need to fit. So what makes words powerful or meaningful? We can search ourselves for clues here. What are the words we remember that stick with us? What are their characteristics? Are powerful words likely to be specific or generic? For a person or population, if we get an email, tweet, message, are we more likely to respond if generic and to a group, or if it is personal, specific to us and engaging? Obviously, other contextual factors matter here. There is no absolute. As therapists, are we repeating words we feel we should, or we have read, seen, or that matter to us, or have worked before? Or are we trying to speak to the individual in front of us? Of course, some of these things may be applicable. Sometimes I wonder if I recite information and advice hoping that something will connect. Now I wonder if this is why connection didn't happen much. So how do we make this connection? Well, something I've been doing lately is recording verbatim, not every word, but those about feelings, description of pain, possible maladaptive beliefs or behaviors. Anything that prods my conscience. I usually use a separate blank sheet for these quotes as often as they come at inopportune moments, like when the subjective is done, fallacy. From a physiotherapy perspective, how well do our SOAP notes, subjective objective assessment plan, allow this? You may notice the quotation marks in the above case study. These were the elements I earmarked in this case. Then our job is about redemption. How can we free people from these? Robotic redemption is something I've yet to see. In this case, some reassurance integrated reverse deadlift were the only intervention required. In much the same way, I tell my son the best way to get it better is to use it. Those redefining ground include Dustin Jones, I know him, who are reshaping our approach to older populations, and Peter O'Sullivan, Helen Slater, Mary O'Keefe, Derek Griffin, and Kieran O'Sullivan, who are writing to powerfully change how people view back pain. Are we skimming data for detail? Are we asking what their GP, surgeon, physio said to them? What will they say to your family? What's the thing they remember most about physiotherapy? Important questions if your patients are human. Be more human, be less robot. Hit me. Thank you for listening to the Senior Rehab Podcast. The show notes for this episode and much, much more can be found at seniorrehabproject.com. If you found value in this conversation, please share this with one other person that could benefit. And until next time, do not forget to stay funky.